It's like a PlayStation controller battle moment. It's like I gotta make sure I can stand still and start breathing through my mouth so I don't smell this stank ass nigga. You heard me? So it's like, say hypothetically, I lived somewhere like in Atlanta. What do YouTubers would do? You know I'm super fine. We back at again with a new YouTube video, you feel me? And we is watch Night Shift Stories animated, and we're gonna watch a second video, True Home Alone Stories 3 animated. The last scary video, it didn't do too well, but the first scary video did. And I'm willing to trust in that first scary video than the second scary video and make this third scary video that. I hope we can make it that by liking, commenting, and sharing it to our mothers. Let's appreciate that. Genuine fried reaction. This is, what time is it? 12:31 currently. You feel me? And we was watching this with no protection, man. I don't got nothing to save me if something come at me except these.
It was 2 years ago. I was called in to do the night shift, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at 7-Eleven, since somebody called out. The store was located on a busy road in a rather quiet and rural area. During the night shift, you could expect anywhere from 10 to 20 people come in to buy a beer or something else. This one particular night, there was this one guy, mid-20s, that came in. He started making weird noises, like loud yelling noises. I assumed he had some kind of mental disability. In fact, my brother has a mental disability, so I immediately felt sympathy for the guy. He walked up to the counter without any items, with his head facing me, but his eyes were looking up at the ceiling. I felt uncomfortable. I honestly didn't know how to deal with it. I tried speaking with him, but he only responded in loud noises. I kept checking if he was with someone outside, but he was alone. There weren't any cars in the parking lot, so I assumed he walked. He stood there for so long.
Pause. Yeah, I'm sorry for not saying anything.
I can just like imagine his smell. And it's like him coming closer to me. It's like a PlayStation controller battle moment. It's like I gotta make sure I can stand still and start breathing through my mouth so I don't smell this stank ass nigga. You heard me? So it's like automatically it's an immediate switch to breathing out my mouth, and I have to keep my composure as a worker. And second off, the second I see somebody is of his composure, you might as well go ahead and dip out of here because I'm about to clock out and shit. I don't feel like doing nothing right now, bro. Service not for everybody, bro.
Looking up at the ceiling and making noises that I tried
Ain't
to get
he
him
moaning
out
at me like,
handing him a bag of chips and telling him he can go. I tried finding some kind of number to call for someone to help him. Then, out of nowhere, he finally turned around and walked out of the store. I felt so horrible for the man, but at the same time, I felt a bit creeped out.
Wait, did he just call him special earlier?
I assumed he had some kind of mental disability. The counter rang. I picked up to hear the familiar yelling sounds of the man from earlier. It caught me off guard. I didn't know what to think, other than this has to be some kind of prank. I hung up on them and was now becoming paranoid of my surroundings, constantly checking the outside through the windows and the door.
Oh,
I
he
felt
followed
a chill run
you.
down my spine. Why would someone be calling at 4 a.m.? I could only imagine it was bad news. I braced myself and picked up the phone to hear the man again. I felt sick to my stomach as I listened to the loud noises he made. I struggled to slam the phone to the receiver.
He
All
knows
night,
where
I
you
felt like I was
live,
being watched, even with all
and
the
he
blinds
knows
shut.
when you came through the door.
And I could swear I heard strange noises coming from all over my house. I refused to get any sleep until the sun came up. Weeks passed and I had forgotten about the incident, until one day, when going into the basement for the first time in a while, I found that papers had been scattered all over the floor, and when I went into the basement closet, I found writing on the walls. 7-Eleven had been written in Sharpie on the wall, along with the address to the 7-Eleven I worked at and my house address. The most disturbing part, I also found various kitchen knives, along with a large pocket knife sitting in the closet. What started out as seemingly just an innocent person turning into something of a prank ultimately turned into something much more horrifying. He had been living down there for God knows how long, and I'm just grateful that, for whatever reason, he changed his mind and left, because I haven't seen or heard from him since. All I can say is that man is dangerously ill.
That's scary. That's scary.
Because trust and believe, if he came into my store again, if he showed up after that, I'm gonna be like, man, you done came in my store stinking, looking crazy. You done came into my home, harassed me, lived in my basement, and you come into my store again? Butter buns. You feel me? Butter buns, bro. You're not just gonna come into my house, probably eating my food, stealing my knives. I've been looking for my knives, nigga. Where my knives at, bro? And think shit sweet, bro. Like, you're not gonna take your broke ass into my store again and not buy nothing and expect I'm gonna let that shit slide. Brother bun. Starting the next video of True Home Alone Stories 3. And like, comment, subscribe. Especially heavy on that subscribe. 1,000 subscribers take 2. Yeah, that. Starting the video of 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
I recently moved out, and I already have a horror story to tell. The house I moved into isn't anything impressive. It's just a house that's appropriate for 1 or 2 people. But I'd say right away, I started hearing weird sounds coming from inside the walls. I first heard it in the kitchen, and then in the bathroom, but on night 3, I started hearing it in my bedroom. I was sure there was some kind of animal living in my walls. I just had to figure out how to get rid of it.
So
The
he's
next morning, I
hearing.
didn't even have enough milk to fill the bowl of cereal. I couldn't believe I hadn't realized I needed more milk. In fact, I seemed to be eating up all of my food pretty fast. I woke up in the middle of that night to the sound of breathing. Not my breathing. It sounded just like the breathing of a person. I flipped the lamp on and it stopped. I chalked it up as my mind playing tricks on me after waking up. The next day was really hot, so I turned on the AC for the first time. I checked every single vent, and some of them weren't blowing any air, one of them being the vent right next to my bed. I peered through the vent with a flashlight.
Somebody in there.
There wasn't even a duct behind the vent. It was just the inside of the wall. It seemed that whatever air duct was in there had been removed. Unfortunately, I didn't look into the air conditioning system while buying the house, so I didn't know about this. That night, I had to sleep in the heat with no AC, so I was up pretty late, constantly rolling around and flipping the pillow over. Then, I eventually started to hear the breathing again, but this time, I was fully awake. I knew it was real this time. It was coming to my left. I looked to my left at the air vents. The sound was surely coming from in there. I grabbed the flashlight.
Plus, let's say hypothetically, I lived somewhere like in Atlanta. Hold on, let me make sure like y'all can really see me. Hypothetically, I live somewhere in Atlanta. I hear it's coming to my left. I'm already knowing that there's no air duct there, so something could be there.
Flashlight again and shined it in through the vent. I dropped it and screamed. There was someone's face peering through the cracks of the vents. The first thing I saw were their eyes, open wide and glowing. I screamed all the way down and out the house. I soon found out there was a crazy, dangerous homeless man living in my walls, and he had been eating my food ever since I moved in.
He ain't scream good enough for me.
Nigga like me.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck was that? I'm saying.
I'm pussy. Living in my walls? I don't know how many of them you are there, bro. That's done. You feel me? Like, comment, subscribe. I know I said that 3rd time, but I'm already knowing you ain't comment. I'm already, well, shit, I hope you like. End this video off. Share this video to your mother, though.